Cherokee Purple, Golden Jubilee, Yellow Brandywine, Mortgage Lifter, Paul Robeson, Solar Flare, Dr. Witchies. This is Triple Crop. This is Abe Lincoln. Some really sad Romas. San Marzano. Wapsipinicon Peach. Golden Jubilee. Nope. Green Berkeley Tie-Dye. I don't know what this one is. This is, I believe, a Hillbilly. Giant Crimson. Solar. Nope. This is Striped German. And these are like early girl or early dolls. Look what we're doing today. Hey friends, it's Michelle with Garden Jargon, and I appreciate you being here with me today. We are going to do a taste test video on all of our tomatoes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 varieties here on my table. I think I grew over 35 varieties in my garden this year. I have 4 gardens. I'm located here in Chicago, Grow Zone 5B. I grow a very large 40 by 40 garden here at my house. I have a 40 by 30 plot at the Batavia Community Garden, and I have a 145 by 45 feet garden at the church, and I have a 50 by 30 garden in Geneva. 90% of my produce goes to the food pantries to feed the people that need some help with food security. And I enjoy growing heirloom variety tomatoes because they're beautiful. Do I enjoy eating them? It's not my favorite thing to do. So I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. That's why I've invited a friend of mine, Lauren. We did this video last year. She loves tomatoes. I'm not a huge fan of eating raw tomatoes. I do process my tomatoes and I do cook with my tomatoes, but I don't like to just eat a tomato. I don't like to put that in my mouth and eat it. I like salsa, I like pasta sauce, all the above, but I do not enjoy a raw tomato. So I like to do this video with Lauren every year because it actually invites her opinion and my opinion, being an avid tomato lover and a person like me who's not so keen on tomatoes, to give you guys a pretty good idea of what these really do taste like. So if you ever think about maybe getting seeds from another for another variety next year for your gardens, at least you'll know what the varieties look like. I only had about 2 plants this year that really struggled in our climate in Chicago, so I probably won't grow them again. Please make sure you comment in the comments below where you're growing your tomatoes and what are some favorite varieties that you like to grow, so maybe I can put that seed on my list of seeds to buy for next year. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Lauren, my good friend, my garden partner in crime, and we'll get to slicing these open and tell you what they taste like. And here's Lauren. Say hi, Lauren.
Hi.
So here we are. My favorite time of the year.
Tomato tasting time.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm not a tomato eater. She loves it.
I
So
do.
I reel her in. It's not much bribing to get her to eat some tomatoes. So we're going to do this again this year. I have the descriptions here on these sheets of paper. I actually pulled these right off Baker Creek rareseeds.com to give the descriptions of all of the tomatoes. So we will do a cross-cut section like that through our tomato and show you the inside of the tomato, and then we will put it on a plate and we will taste it and tell you what our mouths are telling us. So give us 1 second. I just want to get a bowl for dumping.
Oh, yeah.
Or they're editing, and I'm going to have to edit this a lot. It's all right, though. Make sure it's rolling. It's rolling. Tight there. All right.
All right.
Our first tomato is the Cherokee Purple. And this is what Cherokee Purple looks like. It is rich, dark color, unmatched, sweet, rich taste on sandwiches and salads. Try to throw it closer to them. There you go.
I don't want to drop that one. There we go.
And the tomato is beautiful, dusky pink with deep, rich red interior. So
Yeah, so we got a nice pink and a little of the darker.
not a lot of seeds. I like little bites.
Little bites, so like this size.
She likes the big bites.
I like the big bites.
I like a little bite.
All right, so how about we just do like a little sliver?
Yeah. And I had somebody comment on the video last year, I can't take advice from a person that puts salt on a tomato.
Oh,
But that's
So-
okay. I wasn't giving you advice. I was just giving you my opinion. So I'm sorry if I offended you.
you have to eat your tomatoes with salt. Here, wait, let me get the little nubby end off there.
Sure, you give me the nubby piece?
I gave myself a nubby piece too.
Okay, Cherokee Purple. I think I didn't mind this one last year either.
Mhm.
It's sweet to me. I feel like the skin is a little tough.
It's got a really mild tomato flavor. Like it's not super acidic. It's like sweet, but really mild.
Yeah, I'd see when I first started trying tomatoes, I was eating ones that are very acidic. They're very tomatoey, I guess is what you would call it. Then I started eating all these fun flavors, and they taste more like candy than a tomato. So I'm wavering closer to the sweeter ones, but I do know people like the acidic flavor.
Yeah, and
All
not
the
a lot of seeds, so
Yep.
that's really good. Yeah,
That
if you're
was
not
the
a tomato
Cherokee.
fan, that's not bad.
Golden Jubilee.
Look at that beauty.
That's
Look at
this
that.
one. Right there. And mild in flavor, low acidity makes this very best variety for tomato juice. So if you're making tomato juice, I guess this is a good one. Bright orange, golden fruits, 6 to 7 ounces a piece, and have meaty, thick walls. Fruits are solid and very few seeds. So
Yeah, I'd say that. I mean, it's kind of average-ish in the seed department, right?
that's pretty.
It's pretty.
The pretty one.
All right, try not to give you a lot of seedy bits.
No seedy bits for me.
Well, there's a lot of seedy bits. So, all right.
Very good. And what was this one again? Golden Jubilee. I don't taste any tomato in that one.
It's like really kind of bright. Like it's got like a
Citrusy.
yeah,
almost.
citrusy almost. Like it's got a nice acidity, but it's not like overly again tomatoey tasting. Right?
It was very meaty.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was eating a chunk of something. And it wasn't mushy. But I guess that's where you pick it the right way at the right time.
Yeah, it's like a nice firm. Like it's not mealy at all. Like some
I don't
tomatoes
even
can be-
think I know what mealy is yet. Maybe I haven't.
I'll
learned
tell
that.
you when if we get there.
Okay, we might. We have plenty here.
Yeah.
This one is our yellow brandy wine. This is the first year growing this one for myself. Actually got this plant from Lauren.
I
She
grew
got it
last year.
from
Love.
another garden that donates a bunch of plants to us. But this is called the yellow brandy wine. I've grown the red brandy wine, and those are really nice too. I like these because they're really big, massive tomatoes, which is what I like when I process salsa and stuff. Because I don't want to chop up 1,000 tiny tomatoes for salsa.
And what I like about this one too is like not a lot of seeds, not a lot of that gooey stuff. So this is like really good for
Nice and meaty.
yeah, like for salsas and stuff because you're not like scooping all that out.
Yep.
All right.
And I tend to find the orange and the yellow tomatoes are the ones that I like more because they are the low acidity and they're more sweet and fruity flavor.
Salt me up.
Yes.
All right.
Yellow brandy wine.
Yellow brandy. Yeah.
That's way brighter than the other one.
Yep.
Way,
Sweet.
Way brighter than the golden
Yep.
Jubilee. So if I had to choose between those two yellows, I'd go with the yellow brandy
Yellow
wine.
brandy wine is probably my favorite yellow. It's like really sweet, low
Mm-hmm.
acidity, kind of fruity, really nice.
We are on to the Mortgage Lifter tomato. This is probably my 3rd year growing this Mortgage Lifter. I like how it scallops on the top with the little ribs on the top. And here's the Mortgage Lifter. This one, the variety became very popular in recent years and was developed by M.C. Biles of Logan, West Virginia. After crossing varieties for over 6 years, he finally came up with this tomato called the Mortgage Lifter. He sold these plants for $1 each and paid off a $6,000 mortgage. I'd like a $6,000 mortgage.
Right.
I just double checked to see if I missed a zero on there, but nope, it's $6,000.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little story behind this Mortgage Lifter tomato.
It's another one that doesn't have a ton of seeds, really. Like,
That's
your
good.
little bite doesn't have any.
Good. I like that kind of bite. I just heard and watched another YouTube video where the gel and the seeds is where all the flavor comes from. So if you have a seedy tomato, that is going to give you a lot more flavor than just eating the meat, which that is what I'm doing right now because I don't like the seeds.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like a really, it's got a little bit of acidity, but it's not super sharp. Nice tomato flavor.
That doesn't taste like a lot of tomato to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a really mild kind of tomato-y flavor. But definitely not like as sweet as like the yellows, I think.
The Mortgage Lifter, a lot of people like to grow that in their gardens because they're pretty uniform in shape.
I mean,
and
look
they're
at
pretty
that. One
big.
slice on a sandwich.
Yeah,
Like a whole piece of bread.
that would be really good for an appetizer idea I have. It's up here.
Mm.
Paul Robeson.
All right.
This is an interesting tomato. It is, this tomato always in my garden here in Chicago, Grow Zone 5B, it cracks a lot. So it's not crack resistant, but it does, if it gets too much water at a certain time, it does and always has, and the bees love it because their juiciness is all over the place. But the Paul Robeson, it says famous tomato
bee
followers.
likes it?
Oh, the bee likes it. Among seed collectors and tomato connoisseurs who cannot keep their hands off of other tomatoes love this because it's got a very distinctive sweet and smoky flavor. Sit down, Sasha. Paul Robeson, an American, was also Russian equal rights advocates for blacks. The Russian variety was lovingly named in his honor. We are proud to offer such a great variety. And I will grow this in my garden every year because of that distinct flavor. I actually had a gentleman travel an hour and a half to buy this plant for me, and he bought all the rest of the plants for me because he had some shipped to him and they died in shipping and he needed them in his garden.
I will say this one is like softer, and that I don't think because it's more ripe. I think that's just kind of how it is.
Okay.
It's like a lot of these other ones are really nice and firm, and this
Okay.
one just feels like it's kind of got softer flesh.
Oh, it's almost mushier.
And that's a little bit of that mealy. It's not bad, but it's just like it's not quite as firm on the inside.
So is that just overripe, do you think?
Some
mean, it
tomatoes
doesn't
are just like
change.
that. No,
Okay.
it's delicious. It's like really good. It's
Yeah.
got kind of that smoky, sweet, really balanced with the like little bit of acidity.
That would be really good with the mozzarella and the basil.
Oh, yeah.
That has a very,
Yeah.
very unique flavor. If you haven't had a Paul Robeson, you
Really
guys
good.
got to get your hands on it.
Yeah, really good.
It's pretty tasty. Solar Flare tomato. I think this tomato is so
beautiful.
dang pretty.
Look at that.
Solar Flare is either 6 to 8 to 10 ounce beefsteak, red tomatoes with gold stripes. That's when you know it is ready. Developed by Brad Gates and selected for flavor production. It increased earliness and scab resistant. This guy.
All right.
Can't remember if I did it with this guy.
I don't know if I've had this one.
This is juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, juicy as in the skin is leaking good juices out of there.
Mm-hmm. That's another really sweet one.
Not a lot of acid.
Mm-mm.
The skin is a little tougher on me.
Yep, I still have it
Yep.
in my mouth. Yeah, skin's a little
Like
tougher.
as you're eating it, like the last part that's in your mouth is the skin. That's how I'm distinctively telling you that the skin is a little thicker.
Yeah, it's a little thicker.
And it's not bad.
It's not bad. It's good.
I'm turning into a tomato liker.
I mean, the fact that you haven't been like, yet.
Last year I was like, I put that
The cherry
yellow
tomato.
pear, I thought I was going to lose it.
Nope.
Nope, but I'm not so far.
I noticed
It's
there's
just-
no cherries on the table here this year.
That's a whole nother. They're in the other room. We don't have time. I can only pay Lauren a certain amount of time.
I bet get paid in tomatoes.
She's a very busy house mom, and I gotta only have her for this amount of time. So, let's jump over to the Dr. Witchies.
Okay.
And I grow this every year.
That's pretty.
My second and third year, I will grow it again in my fourth year. That's this one, Dr. Witchies, Dr. Whitecheese. I don't know how to say it.
That's a big for witches.
1
Ooh,
pound.
look at that.
1 pound fruits. I've gotten bigger with this tomato. Tangerine orange stands out in the kitchen. One of the best heirloom orange types on the market. People seek this tomato out.
All right, so again, very
Yeah.
little seeds. I can feel that the skin is tougher cutting through it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
with the knife.
with the knife, like I can hear it like popping as I'm trying to cut it. Yeah, big old chunk.
Dr. Witchies. Oh yeah, the skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flavorful tomato. I don't mind that. I think my problem is with tomatoes when I'm eating them, I don't know how I'm going to eat that.
Yeah.
Like, do you just slice it up, put it on your plate, and put salt on it, and you eat it as a side dish when you're eating a meal? Like, I couldn't imagine biting into a sandwich with a tomato on it. I
Oh,
know-
like my tomato slices on my sandwiches just for lunch, like a half-inch thick. It's like a tomato sandwich with like a little bit of
Little
turkey
bit
on
of-
it.
I just don't know how I would eat it. Like, tasting this isn't grossing me out as much as it did in the past. So maybe I'm learning
That
to
is definitely
appreciate.
thick skin. It's
Yeah.
still like, but it's got a really good flavor.
It is a fruity flavor again. I don't taste that tomatoey type of flavor
No.
in there, that acidity or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Now we're on the triple crop. And I laugh every time I say triple crop because when I talk to text into my phone, I say triple crop, it spells out C-R-A-P, triple crap. It's not triple, it must be my accent and dialect when I talk into the phone.
It's just like a perfectly like round, pretty.
A lot of people
Light
said
red
that
tomato.
these are very, very good for if you're growing in a high tunnel or in a greenhouse environment because they're pretty uniform, they're disease resistant, crack resistant, and they're really, really productive. They produce a lot of tomatoes on the vine. And looks like there's more gel in this than...
Yeah, this is this looks more like, you know, the tomato, like the regular store tomatoes you buy with like the
Yeah.
big pocket of seeds and goop,
the goopy.
the goopy stuff. All right, let's see.
Hi, Bee. None of this is yours yet.
I know the bee's like really hoping for a slice of tomato.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Triple crap. Here we
Triple
come.
crap. Juicy.
Very juicy. Sasha, you can have some in a minute. I don't know. It's kind of mushier.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely softer flesh.
I'm still eating some skin.
Still eating some skin. Tomatoey flavor, but not super acidic. So, I mean, it tastes...
I taste more tomato there than
Yeah.
I do a fruit.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't have like that fruity flavor. It's definitely got that tomato flavor, but it's like
Which is
not
the
super sharp though.
triple crop.
Triple crap.
You got it. That's
Yeah,
just
so
your
if you like
pretty
a
average
tomato,
mistake.
tomato,
Yeah, that
That's
would be
it.
a good one. And it's highly productive. It
Yeah.
really is. It grows in clumps and clusters. I trim all my tomatoes to a single stem pruning method, and it does produce a lot. This is the Abe Lincoln. My dog. The Abe Lincoln, I like this too. It's got that scalloping on the top. And I've grown this tomato in my garden every year, and I really do enjoy it. It does really well in my zone here in Chicago. It was developed in 1923, and it is a winner amongst lots of tomato contests, as in how big they get.
little spots
Yeah.
around there.
And this is going to be made into salsa later, so if you think we're tossing it to the pigs,
Yeah.
I don't have pigs!
All right, you got a little bit of
I had a pig.
seedy stuff in that.
Okay. You're trying to push me to my limits.
That's right. You're like really enjoying this, and
You're pushing it.
I think people watch to see you go,
That tastes like a tomato.
Yeah, that's like classic tomato flavor, a nice acidity.
That's what I taste
Yep.
there, is tomato
Yep.
in that one. And that was a Abe
The
Lincoln.
Abe, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
a
that's
really
like
good,
that's what an acidic flavor tastes like
yeah, yep.
when it comes to tomato.
Yep.
Perfect. We are on to the San Marzano. San Marzano is considered a plum tomato, really good for canning. That's this one. So a lot of people, when they make sauces and stuff, they'll use San Marzanos, Aromas, or super sauces. And this is a San Marzano.
So nice thick wall there. Cut that little guy in half.
It's like I need that coffee beans to sniff,
Right?
so I can get
Like,
the flavor from
tastes
the
like a
first one.
tomato. Tastes like a tomato. Tastes like pasta sauce. You know, like
Yeah,
it's
it
got-
doesn't have a lot of flavors in there.
It's like a really mild, sort of sweet it, a little bit maybe.
It's more sweet than it is acidic.
Yep.
But it doesn't have a lot of layers
flavor, yeah.
of different, like all of these have like fruity and sweet and juicy and all
Citrusy
this
and smoky,
No,
and
none
this
of-
one's like
tomato.
tomato. Like tomato. Meh. And like the flesh is kind of softish. Like it was,
But it was crunching.
yeah.
When I had the piece that I had, just I could.
Oh, maybe
I
I
was
had too much
crunching.
goo.
I was crunching on the skin for me. Sit down, Sasha. Stay. Did you tell which one is the squishy one?
Oh, this one for sure.
Yeah. So
I
these are
almost
my
went on that.
sad. These are my sad Romas. This is
tiny.
as much as I could get off the plant here before we shot this video. So these are some tiny Romas, but they do get a little bit bigger than this. This again is one of those paste varieties with very thick flesh, very low seed, and these are made for grown and bred for pasta sauce and tomato sauce, ketchups, and stuff like that.
So I don't know if this is because it's so small, but it is like all seeds and goo in there.
Oh, I'm so excited about this one.
Like,
Was that a warning?
that is a warning. There's not a lot of flesh in there
No,
for me.
very good.
Like it's just falling out of there.
It's a mental thing.
That's right. It's just a tomato, just like
Sure.
all the other tomatoes.
As it squishes and brings back terrible childhood memories. That's a lot of goop,
A lot of goop.
but it has more flavor than
It does. I mean, you can definitely taste like the little bit of fruity.
Yeah.
The skin's a little thick, but
So
it's
maybe,
got a more complex flavor than the San Marzano.
so that's good to know. So like if I'm going to do production on pasta sauce or anything like that, I'm going to grow both Roma and San Marzano, because San Marzano is going to give you the girth,
Yeah.
you know, the
bulk.
bulk of when you're hello hummingbird when you are making your sauces and stuff. I want big tomatoes when I'm making sauces and stuff, because I don't want to chop up 100 little guys like this.
Or like this. Yeah, these little
Yeah,
dudes.
I want some massive tomatoes. So that San Marzano is going to give you a bigger tomato versus your little Roma, which gave it some really good flavor. That was really tasty.
All right. Here we go.
So this one is called Wapsinicon tomato. It's like AKA yellow peach or white peach. Wapsinicon. Wapaganinaninaninanan. So that's this tomato. I grew it because I heard of the flavor components of this tomato. It is not smooth like skin on a tomato. It is actually fuzzy like a peach. It's very interesting. And I sliced into one of these yesterday and put some balsamic on it, which I actually prefer to try it without the balsamic, because although it was tasty last night,
Lots
I
of
get to
seeds.
try it without that. Get away, bee, get away.
All right, so quite a bit of
But they're not very big. All of them are like on little, 6 or 8 trusses of these little tomatoes. This one was obviously cat-faced and fasciated blossom. But this is something probably that you would do for a dessert, a tomato dessert, if they make those. I'm sure you would figure something off it out.
yeah, they do.
That don't even taste like a tomato.
A lot of the gel, but it's really sweet.
It doesn't even taste like
That's
a
super
tomato.
good.
That's
I've never had one
tasty.
before, so I'm gonna try another.
Yeah. Wapsinicon peach.
Wapsinicon.
It was named after a river in northeast Iowa. 2-inch round fruits, sweet, juicy, well-balanced flavor. It was a award winner of the SSE 2006 tomato tasting. Rot resistant, and it's indeterminate 80 days.
It's really good. Very sweet.
Yes.
The skin's a little weird. It's a little weird.
But you eat peaches.
I do. Mental thing.
Mental. See?
It's a mental thing.
I know. This is the green Berkeley tie-dye.
Yeah.
So I've grown the pink Berkeley tie-dye. I did not like it because it was very cracky. It cracked a lot, whether I watered or not, and the bees would be all over it. So it was just a bee hazard in my garden. But this is the green Berkeley tie-dye. And I don't ever know when to pick it. Like, I really never know when it's ripe. So, but this one I was hoping for like a more of a firm flesh so that I can fry it, because I do like fried green tomatoes, and I would like to try that.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty firm.
That's good.
All right.
We'll try this one. For some reason, I don't think this is going to have flavor at all.
It really doesn't. It's not.
It's like cold.
Tastes like cold. Yeah, it doesn't have a
I don't know. It's
strong flavor.
No, not at all. But it was very thick-walled. Like, I like the meat of that. It seems like there's a lot of gel in there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
It's very pretty. That's interesting.
It doesn't have a lot of flavor at all.
No, it's juicy. Maybe
It's
that's
juicy. It's very juicy, but like it's just
meh.
It's meh.
Meh. We're gonna try our Jetstar next.
All right.
We think this is Jetstar.
Pretty sure. Maybe. Probably.
Jetstars are bright and red and firm, meaty tomatoes with mild sweet taste. Let's see. Jetstar is another one that people grow in high tunnels or in greenhouses because they're very highly productive. I don't even think this one's ripe yet.
No, this one looks a little underripe. It looks just like a kind of like a grocery store
like
tomato.
a grocery store.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to find in your grocery stores are tomatoes
Underripe.
that they're unripe because they're picked when they're 10% blushing, and then they're put in boxes and containers, and for like 3-4 weeks are being shipped to you, and as they're in those boxes they ripen, which they can. They do that. People can pick a green tomato and put it on their countertop, and then it'll turn red in a couple weeks.
You not loving that one?
No. I think that was the salt maybe I was making a face at.
Did I oversalt?
No,
Oh,
but it's got a lot of flavor to it.
yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's got a lot of seeds and stuff.
Yeah, it's got a,
Goopy.
like the goop is like very liquidy, you know?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
Like it
hold
pops.
together. Yeah, kind of like
That's what I meant on the green Berkeley. It was like it popped up in my mouth. It was like a lot of explosion of flavor when I went. Well, not flavor, but just
yeah, that's good. I think it's pretty standard tomato-y, right?
yeah.
Like
That was
not bad.
the Jetstar.
okay.
Sit down. This is called the Hillbilly.
Yep.
We have some of that there.
Yep. We got a little bit of a
Cracking.
overripe situation, cracking, but it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So the
It's
Hillbilly,
huge.
I believe this is my first year growing the Hillbilly. I did it in honor of my mother because they always called her Hillbilly growing up. These tomatoes are giant, 1 or 2 pound
Look at that.
tomatoes.
Gorgeous too.
I still have a couple other ones on the plant. Wow!
Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It's
That's
like
pretty
tie-dye in there.
yeah.
That's so cool.
And
It's huge.
this tomato is, let's see, huge and mildly flavored beefsteak style. Here. And regular potato leaf variety. Yeah, it does. There's like your regular tomato leaf, and then there's potato leaf. And this is a potato leaf variety.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Taking a big chunk.
You like
I know.
I'm
I have to be
trying
careful.
this.
Like I keep chopping you up giant pieces and then having to cut them in half.
Whoa.
That is super good. It's really fruity.
That's got a lot of stuff in it.
That's really good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Give me another piece of this
Yeah.
guy. That, I don't even know what to say about that one. That one's like a lot of juice when you bite into it, but
Very juicy.
from the flesh, not from the seed.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fruity. I don't taste acidity from the tomato.
Mm. Yeah, really nice fruity flavor. Super good.
That's a pretty dang tasty tomato right
That
there.
is really good.
So far, that's the front runner for me.
And like, how beautiful is that?
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool.
Oh, Ben's getting very full.
This is called the Giant Crimson.
Okay.
This one I got from M.I. Gardner this past year. You'll get about 5-inch wide flowers. What? I don't know what that means.
What's 5-inch wide flower?
I don't know what this is talking about. I don't know. My niece did these. She probably Googled something else. She might be talking about something different. I don't know. So this is Giant Crimson. These seeds were developed from a shadow box, and then Luke from M.I. Gardner actually turned it back into an heirloom somehow over the years, and then he sold the seeds, and I was lucky enough to be able to buy them this year.
Okay, so
They look seedy.
a little seedy.
It's all right. We're gonna try
It's
it.
okay.
This one right there too. Keep hearing those things.
I know, it's like a moth or something.
Nope, that's not hummingbirds. They're everywhere. Giant Crimson. That has the acidity of a tomato too.
Yep, yep. Yeah. It's got a nice flavor. It's different. I'm not sure. Is it almost floral? Is that what? There's something different in the flavor.
Maybe it's that 5-inch flower.
Maybe. It's good.
Stands out among other cultivars with its brilliant red,
There's something in the
5-inch
flavor.
red flower. I don't know
A
what-
floral something or something
which
that.
graces vining stems from early summer to autumn. Nope, doesn't say anything about the flavor
I
count.
don't know.
I don't know.
I mean,
It tastes like a tomato. It's like,
to
eh.
me, I'm like, there's something in that flavor that I'm like,
But there's always a hillbilly.
Right,
You can
exactly.
always go back to the hillbilly.
No, I'll take the hillbilly any day.
And we're gonna do striped German.
Another beautiful. I love these.
Striped
It's a
German. This
big
is
boy.
my first year growing this one. Only because I know they get really big, and if you notice, I kind of lean towards the yellow and the oranges because they have more fruity flavors. Yeah, pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty similar.
And this is the striped German sheet. And it says the flat, medium to large tomato with variable shoulder ribbing are shaded yellow and red. The marbling interior looks beautifully when sliced, complex fruity flavor and smooth texture.
Smooth texture. All right.
Let's see.
Great fruity.
See how big her piece is.
I know. If I weren't on camera, I would take one that would be embarrassing to eat. Very soft.
Very soft and very sweet.
Really sweet.
That's yummy.
I don't think it's like as complex as the hillbilly. Like I felt like there was more of a balance there with like the acidity, but that's really good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
tasty.
Yeah.
That was the striped German, right?
Yep.
Very good. Last one is like the early
Early
girl.
girls.
Early girl. They're also called early dolls. Whoa.
Nope.
You can use them as baseballs, freeze them in their weapons. Very crack resistant. Very uniform in shape.
Yeah, it's like a perfect little tomato.
That's like a little star-bought tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha, you get no tomatoes. I mean, she does like she eats the ground cherries. She goes in the garden and eats all the ground cherries. And these are called early girl or early doll because they are smaller, so they actually set fruit quicker and they will ripen to a red faster than these giant ones will do on your garden. Seems crunchy.
Yeah, it's nice firm texture.
Yep.
Thicker skin again. It's okay. It's a tomato. It's a good tomato.
That's a tomato.
It's a tomato. I
It's
don't
like
know.
that movie Sideways when he keeps drinking all the wine. His buddy, the connoisseur on the
Yeah.
wine's like, how do you think of that one? He's like, tastes like wine.
Tastes like wine.
And his buddy's like, man, don't you appreciate it? See, she's the one that appreciates it way more than I do, but yes, it's good to taste all of these. I like to try these different varieties and give you guys what my opinion is, what her opinion is. So if you are looking for shopping for new seeds next year, at least you have the opportunity to try these tomatoes that we're giving you an opinion on. If you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and throw them in the comments below. If you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It kind of helps me for free from you guys to subscribe to my channel and share the video. If you know somebody that's looking for some different varieties, or hey, take a look at this striped German, it was giant, check out her video, please share my video. I'd love to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Again, for hanging out with me. As I always want her to be here tasting tomatoes with me. You guys have a good rest of your day. Take care and God bless.
Bye. Who's the cutest?
Sasha girl.